Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you are watching this. My name is OSG, and today I'm here to tell you why I've got so many colorways of this specific shoe. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the performance review on the Nike Jar 3. Now, honestly, this is my favorite basketball shoe to hoop in right now, and it's really crazy because I didn't expect them to be. When I first got them, I thought they were going to be nice. My first colorway was this one here, the gray one, the light show, and I thought they were going to be nice, but honestly, I thought they were more pretty than anything else. One of the first shoes I reviewed on my Instagram and my TikTok. If you don't follow me yet, please go and follow me. That would be appreciated. Thank you. The first shoe I reviewed on there was actually the Jar 1 in the Hunger colorway, which is the blue and red alternating colorway. So when I wanted to get the Jar 3, I was like, okay, it's a significant upgrade from the Jar 2. Let me get it. But ultimately, I just thought aesthetically wise, it looked amazing. Now I've got 4 colorways. I've had five in total. I sold one of the pairs. I had my price of admission colorway that I sold because I just wasn't wearing them enough. But these ones currently are staying, and at time of recording, there's a Swarovski colorway that's coming out soon, as well as the All-Star colorway that's coming out soon, and they all look absolutely insane. So I might have to get more colorways. And if you lot didn't see on my Instagram and TikTok already, I actually got this pair up there signed by Jar himself when he came to London for the NBA London game. So unfortunately, this Christmas pair, as beautiful as they are, will never be getting worn again. Also, I'm so sorry, I forgot that I was wearing sunglasses. Essentially, I broke my nose yesterday while playing ones, and and I could have let it affect me. I could have let it piss me off. I could have let it derail the content, but I also just said, no, I actually want to get content out for you guys. So put sunglasses on, and I'm here recording this review, and ideally I still will be able to put out some videos over the course of the next few weeks, even though my nose is quite literally broken. They've told me it's a 7 to 10 day healing process. I've got to ice it. It looks horrific underneath here, but I'm doing my best to make sure I'm getting the content out for you guys. But you guys are here for the performance, so let's break it down, starting off with the traction. So for the traction here on the Nike Jar 3s, we have a whole bunch of Jar logos scattered full length from top to bottom, and I've had pretty much no problems with it. The only thing I can note definitely is that in comparison to the solid rubber does a lot better in terms of traction. And when I say a lot better, I can't even say a lot better. These are a 4.5 out of 5. These are a 4 out of 5 when it comes to the traction, because the translucent just picks up more dust. The solid rubber does a lot better on dust. But aside from that, I've honestly not had major issues with the traction here on the Jar 3. They've done really well. They've held me up on a lot of my movements, and as you can see with this pair, I've had these since August last year, and I've been wearing them quite often. They've probably been my shoe that has the most mileage, or definitely top 3 in terms of mileage in my entire collection. So they've done really well. I keep going back to them, and for me, traction is super important. So I would need to have a shoe with good traction in order for me to keep going back to them. So overall, I'm gonna base my rating off of this pair because, like I said, it's got the most mileage. But overall, 4.5 out of 5 for traction here on the Jar 3. I really like the shoe. Moving on to the cushioning setup here on the Nike Jar 3, it is full length ZoomX. When Foot Dr. Zach, shout out Foot Dr. Zach, because he's got a really good channel for shoe reviews. When he cut it open, there was like a dual layer of ZoomX, one of it being like, it looks like that recycled ZoomX, basically where they've mashed up a whole bunch of different ZoomXs and just compacted it all and put it as that top layer, and then there's that bottom layer of actual solid ZoomX. Now, for a lot of people and for a lot of reviewers that I've seen, that I've watched, people say that the GT Cut 3 Turbo ZoomX is better than this implementation of ZoomX. I have to disagree. I don't know whether it's my foot shape, I don't know whether it's my play style, but I had the black label pair of the GT Cut 3 turbos, and I enjoy this much more than I enjoyed that. Maybe because it's a bit more low profile. For me, it's a bit closer to the ground, so I can actually get that good court feel, but still have the impact protection from that bouncy Zoom X. And you can feel the Zoom X as soon as you put it on your foot. It's really, really nice. I actually really enjoy the setup of cushioning. A lot of people have also mentioned that there's some instability when it comes to this shoe, which again, we can talk about in the fit and materials and lockdown and stuff like that, but that also comes from the cushioning. But I personally have not had any issues. I haven't rolled my ankle once in these. These have actually kept me pretty stable. They don't have a significantly wide base. I know we're talking about cushioning, I know, we're gonna get into it, but they don't have a specifically wide base by any means. There are shoes that have a lot wider base. One comes to mind is the Adidas Don Issue 7. That base is very, very wide and very flat and very stable. But with these, I've had no issues. So I can't actually complain. But in terms of the cushioning and how it feels underfoot, again, I have to give it a 4.5 out of 5. I really enjoy the cushioning setup. I don't think there's much else that they could have done better other than maybe a 4-foot zoom unit that would have made it go absolutely crazy. But obviously they have to reserve all of the high tech stuff for the higher budget items like the GT Cut 4, like a LeBron 23, etc. Giving you guys a different look here with a different colorway just because I can. But here on the fit for the Jar 3s, this is where everyone's bone of contention is with the shoe. And I understand it, I promise you I do. It's very, very difficult. And low key, it also varies from colorway to colorway, because when it comes to this colorway, the Halloween colorway, I got my true size, which I've gotten through every Jar 3 for me personally. I've gotten my true size. But with these ones felt tight. It was super, super tight as I was putting them on. And even as I was breaking them in, especially in the midfoot, they felt super tight. And I was very, very confused. The light shows are my first experience of the Jar 3, and I got these in my true size, and it took maybe a session, 2 sessions at best to break these in, but they broke in really, really well, and they feel super nice to my foot. Again, probably another reason why I keep going back to them. But I don't have a wide foot by any means. My foot is flat-footed, but is medium, I guess, bordering on narrow, if you want to say. So I don't really have a wide foot. So if you have a narrow to medium foot, if you have a normal size foot, I'd say go for your true size and break them in, because you're gonna feel a lot better in them once you break them in. Once you break them in, they're gonna feel like they have been shaped to your foot. Because of the types of materials which we'll get into, they mold to your foot really, really well. So if you have a medium or narrow foot, get your true size, break them in. It will take a few sessions at best, but that will be the best option for you. If you have a wide foot, a lot of people will say, oh, this isn't the shoe for wide-footed people, etc., etc., rare tear. I'm okay with you going a half size up and breaking them in. Half size up will help in terms of the midfoot narrowness that just is a thing when it comes to this shoe. It will give you enough length within the toe as well to make sure you've got enough space, but it shouldn't affect the lockdown too much. I think if you go for a full size up, you're gonna have to really crank the laces down to make sure you don't have any heel slippage in the back. So I would recommend a half size up for wide footers and true to size for medium to narrow footers. And an overall score for myself, for me, especially, it's difficult. I can't really give it a score for me because I understand how difficult it is for wide footers. So I'll take that into account. Overall fit score will be a 4 out of 5. I think for me it would be a 4.5 out of 5 because I really enjoy it once it's broken in. However, given the fact that number one, it is a narrow foot regardless, and number two, I understand that for wide footers, it's probably going to be a painful break-in process. For the materials here on the Jar 3, you have basically a mesh upper throughout, reinforced by, again, mini Jar logos throughout the entire upper, which are actually pretty cool. But yes, aside from how that upper actually looks, how it performed, I have no notes, I have no issues with it in terms of how it performed. It's not the premium materials that people might be looking for, but they mold to your foot really well. They get the job done. They break in relatively easily. Like I said, mainly it's the fit and the cushioning that you have to break in, but the materials break in quite well. On that zombie pair that I was talking about earlier, as soon as I was able to loosen up the midfoot lacing so that it didn't like compress my foot too much, within like half an hour, it had broken in and I was able to adjust the lacing and lace it up normally. And then I was fine while I was running. So overall, the materials, I have no real complaints about. They're not premium, but for the materials on the Jar 3, I can give them a 4.5 out of 5. They're really good. They get the job done. They keep you pretty secure. They mold to your foot really well as they break in, and there's not long of a break-in time either. So I can't really complain about that. For the lockdown here on the Jar 3s, again, no real issues. Once the shoe is broken in, especially because I've got my true size, once the shoe is broken in, you're not really going anywhere. It doesn't have the widest base. It does jut out slightly, so for me, that's helped in terms of preventing any ankle rolls, because there is a slight, ever so slight outrigger. But aside from that, the lockdown is pretty good for me. You sit kind of in this rubber cup sole that they have here to kind of encase you into the footbed as well, so you're not really sliding around. I've had no problems with heel slippage or anything of that nature. Once the shoe is laced up and you are locked in, you're gonna stay there. You're not really going anywhere. I can't really complain about the lockdown, genuinely. I feel like some people might have had issues with the lockdown, so I can dock maybe a few points just in terms of me being general for how the collective has experienced this shoe. But for me, I've had no issues, so I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. So wrapping things up here on the Nike Jar 3, overall score is a 4.4 out of 5, and I think it's well deserved. There are very few shoes in which I want multiple colorways of. The ones that come to mind that I have right now are the Kobe 6, which is my GOAT shoe, my favorite shoe of all time. The Joker 1 GT and GT SE, I have 3 colorways of those, and these, I have 4 colorways of these. I think that might be it in terms of my own personal collection. So that clearly goes to show that there are certain shoes that just perform really well and fit well for my own profile, my play style, and how I like to show up on the court. And this does really well for me. It has me on impact protection, has me on bounce and cushioning and responsiveness, has me on good traction. So my side to side moves I'm able to do, and I'm not really slipping out like that. Don't get me wrong, there have been times where I've slipped out, but on a dusty court, every shoe, almost every shoe is going to suffer. Fit for me has been okay. My foot isn't super wide, so I've been able to break into these really well. So even for me on a first wear, these have actually done really well. I've only worn this specific colorway once or twice, and it's broken in really well for me, so I can't complain. And as I mentioned earlier, there's a reason why I have 4 colorways of this shoe. It's really good. I would advise you guys to try it. But as always, let me know in the comment section down below if you have a pair of Jar 3s. If you do, tell me what colorway you have, because I'm jealous. There's certain people who have that Channel 12 mismatch colorway that I missed out on when it first dropped, and I'm probably going to have to get them at one point as well, because they're super nice. Because I have so many colorways, I'm also able to do some really cool mismatches as well, so that's something fun that I always like to look forward to. But let me know if you've played in these, what your experience has been, what colorways you have. Please let me know. If you have liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please like the video. It really helps me out. I am growing this channel. I'm doing raw reviews for you guys with a broken nose. So please like the video. It really helps me out. And if you've enjoyed this content, if you've enjoyed my review, please consider subscribing to the channel. I've got reviews coming. I've got vlogs coming. There's a vlog on my page already. If you haven't watched it, please go ahead and watch it. And I've also got some other things in store for this channel, so please subscribe. I look forward to welcoming you as part of the family. This has been my review on the Nike Jar 3. Thank you so much for tuning in to another video. And as always, I'm gonna catch you on the next one.